Hey guys, welcome back all you soups and you soups to be.
Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Become a soup.
Stocks! Oh my goodness. They're a hot topic right now, and everywhere that you go, everybody has something to say. Please tell me Dion is not ranting about stocks now. Hey, I actually have something helpful here, alright? Talking to you. Everyone wants to tell you what you should do with your money. And look, your money, it's valuable, okay? Here's a nice little article that I found. So this is from our friends at CNBC. Many people are chasing the stock market by day trading in the pandemic, and it could end badly. And right off the bat, they want to make sure that you know that you're just bored. You're not going to do very well. And then they go on to say, bored at home, many people are turning to the stock market and dabbling in day trading for entertainment and profits. Most individual investors do not have the wealth, the time, or the temperament to make money to sustain the losses that day trading can bring, according to financial experts. Stupid. I'm sick of people telling you to be strapped to cash every single day for the rest of your life, and that's all you can ever do, and that's not true. I don't have a degree. My first year, I did 36% realized gain on my portfolio. I just studied a bunch of stuff, and I want to share a bunch of things with you. I'm not the smartest human being on the planet. I am not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form, but I want to share some things and how I process the stock market. You can learn, all right? I'm sick of people telling people that they can't do this. You can't make $1 billion overnight, and you're also not too dumb to do this, okay? Let's find a little middle ground here real fast. If you were to take $500, okay, and you were to, over the period of 30 years, get an average of 20% return on it, after 30 years, your $500 would turn into $118,688.16. That's a lot of money. $500 turns into over $118,000. Let's debunk, you need a lot of money. You don't. For those of you that just got frustrated by me saying that $500 can make you $188,000, and your first thought was, who has $500 laying around? I'm 28 years old. I'm still in my 20s. Finding cash laying around is very difficult. I understand that, though I do believe that you are worth it. If you don't have $500 laying around as of right now, you're living your life paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, there's a season of life where that's going to happen, okay? And we've all been there. Hopefully you're not living there in that season all the time. And so if you constantly are finding yourself in a situation where you never have any money to do anything and you just feel like your financial life is out of control, Dave Ramsey, stop my video right now and just go look up Dave Ramsey. I'll see you later. You're still here? Let's say you have $500 laying around. Let's keep going. You're like, okay, I want to play with this money. Rule number 1. Are you ready for it? Any money that you put into the stock market, you're only ever going to make money if you're willing to be patient. Stock market is this crazy world. Prices are going up and down every single day. You'll have a good company that'll drop 30% for no reason, and you'll lose your mind if you don't have a good mindset. All right, and this is going to be a rough quote. Warren Buffett said that the stock market is a means of transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Patience is king on the stock market, but also knowing how to pick the right company. I'm going to briefly explain what is a stock. So a stock is piece of a company. So let's say there's 10,000 shares of a company and you purchase 10% of that. Your hope is that as time progresses, let's say you bought that 1,000 shares, let's say it's 50 cents per share, and hopefully somebody will pay you $1 for all this. So your $500 would turn into $1,000. That's the hope. You purchased a piece of a company and that eventually somebody else is going to want to pay you at a higher price. That company is now owned by everybody who purchases shares of that company, and you get the right to vote and things that go on with that company. It's kind of pretty cool. You can actually be a part owner of Apple. A lot of people, let's say you see a share and you're like, wow, that's only 50 cents. That's cheap. Okay. You have to calculate that you're buying a sliver of a company. You want to understand how much does the market think the whole company is worth, right? That's what's called market capitalization, market cap. Market cap refers to the total dollar amount of a company's outstanding shares. So let's say, right, so let's take a look at this example. Are all 10,000 shares of the company, if you were to purchase all of them, would it cost you $1 million? Would it cost you $1 billion? How much would it cost you? That's a huge number, and it kind of blows people's mind, and people don't really seem to be paying attention to that. They look at just the share price, just the sliver price, and they say, ooh, that's cheap, I'll buy that. But in the grand scheme of things, it might be too expensive, and this is how people lose their money. Before I go too much further, if you have not read anything, you need to start with this book, The Little Book That Beats the Market by Joel Greenblatt. You need to read that first. Then the next thing you need to read is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Fantastic, talks about real estate and how to deal with that. Once you've read both of those books and you feel like you want to dive in a little bit deeper, pick up Ben Graham's The Intelligent Investor. This is what Warren Buffett essentially read and studied. And the whole concept is something called fundamentals trading. It means a company have shares that are based in value off of that company, roughly. They are buying and selling based on their perception of what a company is worth. Newsflash, the stock market is all perception. It's none of it's real. It's just people betting back and forth. It's kind of silly. And somebody's going to get mad at me for saying that. People tend to forget that there's something backing everything. You've read the books. Now you're like, I want to start practicing these ideas. These ideas are great. I'm learning how to gauge how much a company's worth and stuff like that. Fantastic. Here's a couple resources for you. Investopedia.com. Right. Risk-free. $100,000 you get to trade on the real stock market. No risk. How did I learn? I played a lot of RuneScape. A lot. Something called the Grand Exchange. So I would come in here and I would find, let's say, all right, Lobster dropped, in the last month it's dropped 43% in value. I would come down here and I'd say, well, what was it like for 6 months? And then I realized only a couple months ago it was trading for 149 cents or 149 gold. And now it's trading for 343. All of a sudden, 343, even though it's dropped 43%, doesn't seem like a good price. Why should I spend my money? It looks like it's going to go back down. Practice. Don't jump straight into the market. Give yourself a little bit of time. Dion, I've read the books. I have $500. I've practiced. I'm ready. Teach me how to be a successful trader. First of all, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not licensed in this. I have found success doing what I'm about to show you. I use primarily 2 websites. 2. FinViz, this is what's called a screener. It looks at every single company that exists on the stock market. That gives me 8,207, and I filter through all of these to find things. The other website that I use is investing.com, which tells me about the fundamentals of a company. I'm going to walk you guys through a little example here real quick. About 7 months ago, I had a little bit of money. Now again, remember, when we put our money in the stock market, you have to treat that money like it doesn't exist. You have to emotionally disconnect from it. So I had $1,500. 7 months ago, I heard somebody talking about guns, actually. And I thought to myself, wow, okay, there seems to be this trend where people are getting kind of scared and they're buying lots of guns and there's this ammo shortage. So I got curious and I asked myself, I wonder if there's a company on the stock market right now that is trading at a bargain price. I'm going to go take a look-skis real quick and see if there's something out there. So I've stumbled upon this company called American Outdoor Brands. They were trading around $16. And in the last 7 months, I have seen over 100% return. That seems like a really lucky guess. But I want to show you what I did to narrow down that this was a company that I knew was going to go up. I don't pay attention to the share price necessarily. The price that I want to pay attention to is the market cap. Why? Because we've read the books. We understand the idea that the stock of a company is based on, like, the price is crazy and it always in flux. And then the stock market is just freaking out, guessing constantly as to what they think that company's actually worth, constantly fluctuating. The company's the company. So I go and I research how much is the company actually worth in comparison to what the stock market says the company's worth. So at the time, it would have only cost you about $220 million. So I went and I looked at a bunch of other companies that were very similar to it and saw that all the other gun companies were up in the $1 billion range if you wanted to purchase the whole thing. I'm like, well, does this one just suck? So what I did is I went over to my finviz.com and I took a look at, real quick, I wanted to see the news. I want to see, well, what's going on? And I realized, well, this is a really new company. It just broke off from Smith & Wesson. I don't see any bad news. That's number one. Check for bad news. Analysts, it's nice. but they're secondary in the way I pick stocks. Next thing I did is I wanted to compare how much the company is worth, and this is the key step. I've done all the math. You can go and read. It's called SEC. Every company is required to report if they're trading on the market. They're required to report what they earned every 3 months. They literally just tell you. It's great. I would click on financials, and I did all the math months ago on multiple companies. I would go into the SEC filings. I would read all the numbers. They post all their numbers. They have their assets, like what gives me value, what takes away from my value, what are my debts, what do I owe shareholders, what do I owe other companies, and then if I were to be sold today, if a company was to be liquidated completely, how much would they be worth at the end of it? I find that out by looking at investing.com. Read the SEC filings, it's really important, but I found this to be a quick way to determine if a company is valuable or not. So there's a lot of numbers here. I'm going to skip all the way down here real quick. I kind of glance at their income statement. I noticed that they are making about $82 million every 3 months, which is nice, but they're only keeping $8 million, which means they have a lot of expenses. But that's still not terrible. They're earning money. That's important. Number one, the company's earning money. They're not losing money. The next thing I want to look at is this thing right here, assets, liabilities, and equity. If they were to sell their company today, pay off all their debts, how much money would they have sitting in the bank? How much are they worth? Right now it's saying that they would be worth $277 million. At the time that I purchased them, they were only worth about 200-ish million. So I could see that they were undervalued because the company itself was worth $270 million and the market was saying that they were only worth 220. So I'm like, well, if the company's worth this much and the market's saying they're only worth this much, they have 30-40% that the market needs to catch up with. And so now the market thinks they're worth close to 500 million, which is more than what they're actually worth. I'm going to sell them here soon. I'm going to sell my shares because now they're overvalued. General tips. 1, don't invest money you're not willing to lose. Number 2, don't invest money you're not willing to lose. Number 3, be patient. Number 4, read good material. Little Book That Beats the Market, fantastic. Intelligent Investor, fantastic. There's a lot of books and resources out there that are just trying to get your money. If your finances are out of control, go check out Dave Ramsey. Picking stocks. The individual share price does not matter as much as understanding how much the company is worth. Pay attention to what you're buying. If they were to be sold today, would they be worth more than what the stock market says they're worth? People have overcomplicated the stock market. They've tried to pretend like it's a bunch of elites that can do it, and I don't think that's true. They're people as well, and you're a people, I'm a people, so we can learn as well if we put our minds to it. But I also think there's a lot of distractions along the way. There's a lot of people trying to get your money, and you need to be aware of that. You need to be wise if you're going to put your money in the market. Also, you need to make sure that, let's say you purchase a stock at $5 and it goes down to $3, but you know that the company should be worth $7. Don't panic and sell. Wait. That money shouldn't exist to you anyway. If you find yourself obsessing over stocks and having panic attacks and freaking out about the price all the time, I think you need to take your money out. And you need to put a lot less in and build some confidence and some mental stamina before you put large amounts of money on the line. There is a risk to the stock market. Crazy things happen. You could lose a lot of money really fast, or you could make a lot of money really fast. But those are freak things that happen. You can avoid a lot of mistakes just by researching what is a company actually worth before you just willy-nilly buy it. If you use some wisdom, you can be blessed doing this. It's not something that you should be afraid of. It's something that you should study. It's something that you should go after and learn. So I hope that was helpful. And if it was, put a comment down if you have questions. If you had any sort of question at all, please leave a comment down below. Give it a like, give it a subscribe. We've really enjoyed making these videos, and it's really fun sharing hobbies and things with you. And honestly, just learning how to make content like this, it's a lot harder than it seems. Hannah makes it look so natural. And I kind of rabbit trail all over the place. So I hope it made sense. Your money can make you money. And you can learn how to do that and not have to pay somebody else to do it for you. Just take the time to learn what you're doing and don't be hasty. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.